Chinese President Xi Jinping and French President Emmanuel Macron met on the 6th to discuss economic cooperation between the two countries and solutions to the Ukrainian war. Xi did not hide his intention to pull France, a major European country, toward him to endure the intensifying US-China strategic competition. China said President Xi and President Macron met at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing later in the day for a summit and dinner together. President Xi welcomed Macron's visit to China in his opening remarks before the meeting, saying, "Today, the world is undergoing a serious change in history. China and France are permanent members of the UN Security Council and large countries with independent traditions," he said. "I believe this visit will give new momentum to the development of China-Europe relations." He then said that the two countries have a responsibility to cooperate in the practice of true multilateralism. He revealed his intention to strengthen relations with Europe through France, which is a key ally of the US but always seeks the path of independent diplomacy. President Macron's emphasis was on expanding China's role in ending the Ukraine war. "The world's stability is greatly shaken by Russia's invasion of Ukraine," he said. President Xi can bring Russia back rationally and bring all parties to the negotiating table. He also called on Xi to press Russia to comply with international rules on non-proliferation of nuclear weapons. Following the dinner, President Xi will travel to Guangzhou, Guangdong Province, on the 7th to have a dinner with President Macron. It is unusual for Xi to have dinner with the leaders of other countries in a city other than Beijing. It seems to be intended to show China's willingness to reform and open up through dinner with the French leader in Guangdong Province, which symbolizes China's reform and opening. President Macron, who has been hit politically by the controversy over pension reform, was also trying to find a breakthrough through trade expansion and economic cooperation with China. The New York Times analyzed, "The European economy, which has been hit hard, needs the Chinese market, and Europe's strategic autonomy is the goal Macron has long pursued." As shown, President Macron began his three-day visit to China with 60 CEOs of major French companies and cultural figures. Now that spring is in full swing, China and Europe are engaged in rapid and full-scale exchanges, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Mao Ning said in a regular press briefing later in the day. President Macron will hold talks with President Xi Jinping during his state visit and jointly plan the future development of China-France relations, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Mao Ning said in a regular briefing held on the same day. It also said that the two leaders will deepen cooperation between China, France, and China and Europe and exchange in-depth opinions on major international and regional issues. In a related development, Bloomberg reported that President Macron will hold a three-way meeting with President Xi on the 6th with EU Commission President von der Leyen. President Macron and President Xi held a summit in November last year in Bali, Indonesia, in the wake of their participation in the G20 summit, and they sat down again for the first time in about 5 months. During his visit to China, President Macron will also meet with Chinese Prime Minister Li Qiang and Zhao Luzi, chairman of the Standing Committee of China's National People's Congress. In addition, Guangzhou, Guangdong Province, will also visit. Both China and France are permanent members and major powers of the United Nations Security Council, Mao said. In recent years, relations between the two countries have maintained sound development under the strategic leadership of President Xi Jinping and Macron, and have achieved effective strategic communication and working-level cooperation. It also maintained smooth communication and coordination in international and regional affairs. Regional affairs. With this visit, we are willing to contribute to promoting world peace and stability by maintaining a full and close strategic partnership between the two countries and playing a positive role in the sound development of China-EU relations, he added. During his visit to China, President Macron is expected to seek arbitration solutions related to the Ukrainian war as well as relations between France and China. In particular, the official said, most countries in Europe have rejected China's proposal to settle the Ukrainian war, but we, France, believe that China has room to engage in dialogue with Ukraine. President Macron will try to find common ground with President Xi during his visit to China. President Macron's visit to China will also involve 60 corporate executives. The business delegation included Airbus, high-speed train maker Alstom and waste management company Veolia Environment in European plane manufacturers, raising expectations that a similar level of deal would be signed in 2019 when they visited China. During his visit to China in 2019, President Macron signed a contract worth about €30 billion between Airbus and the Chinese government. Airbus is currently negotiating with China on new plane orders, according to a French government official.